Good morning. Welcome to First Church of Religious Science. Welcome to our gathering. Welcome to our broadcast, our virtual gathering. It's always wonderful to see so many people on Sunday morning. Our attendance has been over 150, 170 people, both on Thursday and Sundays, and Jimmy has a wonderful gathering every Wednesday night in the Creative Living series. It's all the same Zoom link. So I want to welcome everybody. Our classes on Wednesday and Thursday start at 7 p.m. Some of you are still signing in so on our Zoom call, so welcome to everyone. Some of our talks are being made into the Spanish language, so there's a special reach out for people who speak Spanish. If you watch us on Facebook, you can always also share our talk with one of your friends on Facebook. So if you are one of the people who are watching on Facebook, please do us a favor and spread the word by sending one or two of the lessons around. Today's lesson is entitled Journey Through Faith. And this is a lesson, I have a couple students, and they asked me to do this lesson. So it's for them and it's for everyone, really. So let's be open and receptive to its message. Open ourselves up to support one another and share with one another after the lesson. There's a time always for personal sharing. So welcome, welcome, welcome as we now go through our gathering. And the title again is A Journey Through Faiths. Let's start out with this by saying, in the infinite embrace of the universe, we come together, one with each other. We are united in the spirit of oneness, creative intelligence, and love. With open hearts and minds, we welcome the wisdom that comes from every faith, celebrating the diverse paths that led us to the same light of understanding and compassion. Let me start this lesson with a brief affirmative prayer. I'll do so in the first person, so let yourself be centered so you can receive this prayer. I acknowledge the infinite presence, the source of all life and love, which flows through everything, everyone, every creed on earth. This love, this creative intelligence guides the stars and the beats in our hearts, connecting us to all that is. In this moment, we affirm our oneness with this infinite presence. I recognize that we're not separate from Source, but we are expressions of its infinite creativity, wisdom, and love. I declare that our gathering today deepens our understanding of this truth. As we explore the depths of our souls, it expands our compassion for ourselves and for each other. I see the light of divine wisdom shining brightly within every single heart and everywhere. I know it's illuminating all, and it is the interconnectedness of all our spirits coming together. With profound gratitude, I give thanks for this journey of discovery. I'm thankful for the love that surrounds us, for the love that's within us, the peace that resides within every one of us, and the joy that fills our being. We celebrate life's abundance and the endless opportunities we have to grow and to serve. I release these words into the law, knowing that as I have declared, so it is. So we let go, trusting our journey today unfolds in perfect harmony with the highest good for everyone here. And so it is. So today I'm going to lead you on a little journey across the spiritual landscapes of the world's religions, discovering how their deepest teachings reflect the principles of religious science and new thought. At the very heart of our exploration is the acknowledgement of a universal truth that binds us all, and that is the oneness of life. If you start to study religious science in the third year, we spent a lot of time talking about the idea of oneness. So at the heart of our exploration today is the acknowledgement of this universal idea that binds everyone in every faith everywhere, that there is one God, one life, one intelligence. This omnipresent energy and divine intelligence that responds to our thoughts and our intentions. Ernest Holmes was a visionary. He was the founder of religious science. And he once said, truth, meaning this principle we talk about, this source, this creative energy, is not closed. It's open-ended, he said. There is power for good in the universe, greater than you, of which you are a part. And you can use it. So we live in it, we move in it, we have our being in it. His statement captures the essence of our journey today. So we're going to touch upon a few faiths, but I'm going to tell you before we even begin that we're all centered in this divine activity. There's power in all of these faiths for the good, and we can use it. So we're just going to walk through some of them and gather some inspiration from each. Holmes recognized that while each faith may have a different path, they all lead to the same ultimate truth. They will all bring you to an all-encompassing divine intelligence. So it doesn't matter what faith. Ultimately, they bring you to an all-encompassing divine intelligence, a presence that's never an absence, an intelligence that operates through the law of mind action. That's a term we use here. In other words, this law is not happenstance. It operates through a law of mind, a law of cause and effect, a law of mind action. The idea of this all-encompassing wisdom and power transcends any religion. It embraces the wisdom of all. As we delve a bit into the teachings of Buddhism, Christianity, Hinduism, Islam, Judaism, and other spiritual traditions, we'll see how each one offers unique insights into the power of thought, the power of the divine energy, the presence of the divine energy, and the transformative potential of aligning with this universal presence. So it's in you, operating through you. So we're going to see in these religions, these philosophies, how these insights of the presence and the power, all of it has the potential of, changing you as you awaken to them. Our aim here is not to compare or contrast. Our aim is to illuminate the shared spiritual principles that unite every one of us on the planet. By recognizing the unity in these very diverse traditions, we celebrate Ernest Holmes' vision of a teaching that's open at the top, ever evolving, and receptive to truth wherever it may be found. Today, let us be inspired by all the different ways, the many ways people approach the divine mystery. Many religions have now come and gone from the earth, as we know. So I'm going to remind you of a few of the remaining great faiths to find within them the common thread of love, compassion, and the endless potential for personal and collective transformation. Ernest Holmes, again founder of our religious science, was a student not just of one religion. He studied world religions. He was a great reader, and that was his thing. He was interested in exploring all the religions of the world and philosophy. So today, in the same mind, we explore a little bit of what he was exploring. And we get into the profound wisdom of the world's major faiths. As we do this, we can see how their timeless teachings became some of the foundational principles of religious science and new thought. Our exploration is anchored in the universal truth, again, that underscores the unity of life, the oneness of life. Deepak Chopra said we live in a unitary field. So we live, move, we have our being in this unitary field. There's not a spot where it isn't. So all of these faiths bring you to this place. They all bring us to the place where we realize that there is this omnipresence, this energy that's everywhere present. And we come to the conclusion that it's responsive. It's a responsive divine intelligence. These principles do not merely coexist within the teachings of the various faiths. They are echoed in the sacred text and the practices across cultures and epochs of time, revealing always spiritual insight that transcends geographical and temporal boundaries. Again, as I mentioned with Dr. Holmes, the visionary, the founder of religious science, he championed an open-ended pursuit of truth. So I thought it would be good today to remind us all of that, that God is in everything. This spirit, this energy is in everything. It's in all faiths. It's in all people. There's not a spot where God is not. Holmes' teachings were deeply influenced by the likes of Ralph Waldo Emerson and others, and they all invite us to challenge and transcend our own limited perspectives. So I grew up with a bunch of stuff in a particular faith. And as I got older, I just realized, it was very limiting. So everything about this teaching, as I've learned over the past 30, 40 years, invites me to take another look, to trade in the lesser ideas for the greater. Now I understand that the Spirit of God, that we don't even call it God so much anymore because we understand even that's a limiting idea. This thing, the thing itself that Holmes was talking about, is an activity. It's alive, and it's alive in every one of us. It's alive in every person everywhere. We're all moving forward. We're all evolving in it. We're beings of light and wonder. We're evolving and we're learning. And ideally, we're not criticizing ourselves for anything that we've done, and we're not criticizing everyone else. Ideally, we're waking up to the wonder, realizing, my goodness, this thing is in everyone, and every encounter is a holy encounter. So let's go into some of these traditions a little bit so we can see it. The point I was getting to, from Ernest Holmes through Ralph Waldo Emerson, everyone's inviting us to transcend our own often limited perspectives, the stuff that our parents taught us and our grandparents taught us, and even our faiths. Let's be open to something bigger, something bigger than anything that we were ever taught when we were younger. Let it all go. Let all that stuff go. As I often say, let's trade in the lesser ideas for the greater. Let's shoot for the stars. It's wonderful to know that we can change our minds. I didn't know that till I came to religious science. That was a quote from Emerson that I don't have at the top of my mind right now. But you always have the ability to be at a new moment and to change your mind. And if you were 100% thinking away yesterday, today can be a new day. You can definitely, you're free to turn it around. We can let go of old ideologies, and we can let go of things that don't make any sense anymore. We can celebrate a worldview that acknowledges the interconnectedness of life. It's in everything, everywhere, from the furthest planet to the closest place within you. There is this life, and we're all a part of it. So we can celebrate this, and we can know it's a presence, and it's never an absence. It's such a powerful line. It's a presence, and it's never an absence. Our teaching is rooted in the belief that there's an accessible inner power. And this accessible inner power is unfolding everywhere and in everyone. And it challenges us to dismantle the bloated nothingness of our old and sometimes painful biases, our opinions. Life is moving forward. It breaks that stuff up anyway. So we don't want to be in resistance to life. Life always moves forward. From Khalil Gibran's prophet, he'll say, life never tarries with yesterday. It's always going forward. So we want to align ourselves with what life does. Life, as they taught me in religious science many years ago, the spirit of life is peace, power, love, joy, beauty, and wisdom. So we want to be open and receptive to these great ideas of peace, power, love, joy, beauty, and wisdom, and let go of our attachments to people, places, and things. We want to be open at the top. So we can step into a space of boundless spiritual compassion and understanding. Each and every moment's a new moment, and it can be exciting if you're willing to let go of the types of things I just mentioned. If you stay with this teaching and tune in regularly, you will be amazed before you're halfway through. You'll come to realize that we all live, we move, and we have our being in this energy, this divine stuff. So let's take a look at Buddhism for a minute. Some call it a path of mindfulness and compassion. In the heart of ancient Nepal, around the 5th century BC, Siddhartha Gautama embarked on a profound journey of discovery that led to the birth of Buddhism. This particular tradition is rooted in the quest for enlightenment, and it offers insights into the nature of existence and a path toward inner peace. At the core of this particular philosophy are 4 principles that outline the essence of Buddha's teaching. The first one suggests life includes suffering, and that these experiences of discomfort and dissatisfaction are an undeniable part of human existence. The second truth infers that the cause of this suffering often stems from our desires and our attachments of every kind. This is something that we talk about often in our classes that I teach. I ask people to let go of their attachments. We talk a lot about attachments, and so did Buddha in this second truth, where the suggestion is the cause of suffering often stems from our desires and attachments. So it's like, look at the parts of your life where you have to have things be a certain way, and think about letting go, because you'll be letting go of a lot of suffering if you're able to do that. The third principle, or noble truth in Buddhism, is that it's possible to overcome suffering through inner transformation. And that's what I just mentioned, through inner transformation and spiritual practice. See, if you're using your affirmations and affirmative prayer, you're training yourself to see the good. You're going to build on that to a point where you're going to have an inner transformation, which is what this noble truth is talking about, if you develop that type of practice. So that's something we regularly teach. And that noble truth of Buddhism is that it's possible to overcome suffering through inner transformation and spiritual practice. The fourth principle, or noble truth, speaks of the end of suffering, saying in so many words, of course you could read it all yourself, but as what it says to me in the end in so many words is, it's possible to overcome this suffering through personal transformation and spiritual practice. And again, this is very similar to what we teach. And the fourth principle or path, it's a call to live a life that's in spiritual alignment. Earlier I said, if you align yourself with peace, power, love, joy, beauty, and wisdom, and you assume these virtues that I talk about every week with Benjamin Franklin, assume a virtue if you have it not, what you're going to start to do is you're going to transcend a lot of things that would otherwise cause you suffering and pain. So we want to live our lives in spiritual alignment. We want to live our lives in what I call at one-ment. One-ment. We want to be one with the one. I want to really to be working against myself, because the universe goes forward in the ways I described: peace, power, love, joy, beauty, wisdom. So that's such a life practice, just practicing these principles. If you're able to do that, you're going to lead yourself out of suffering towards peace. This reminds me of our saying in religious science, always to practice the presence. No matter what's going on, you can say, this is God in my life, this is God in my life. To practice seeing the divine in everything. Start with you. I love myself the way I am. And then begin to see it in other people, and let that be your spiritual reality. By understanding these truths that I've just mentioned from Buddhism, we learn that suffering is not an eternal state. It's not mandated, as Dr. Holmes said, suffering is not God ordained. It's a condition that we can navigate and transform through awareness and compassion. This teaching, we're talking about Buddhism here, encourages us to look inward and become mindful and compassionate, cultivate a more loving approach to our thoughts, emotions, and experiences. So that parallels religious science. As we think about the ideas of Buddhism and incorporating the essence of these into religious science, we find a beautiful harmony. Both paths encourage us to engage deeply within our inner self, in our inner world, to cultivate a consciousness that embraces compassion always and to be much more mindful. Okay. This shared emphasis on introspection, mindfulness, meditation, and the power of thought connects us to a greater sense of peace and unity with life. As we reflect on the four truths, we can appreciate their simplicity and their depth, recognizing in them a universal message of hope and freedom, liberation. Buddhism invites us on a journey of self-discovery and self-healing, reminding us always of our ability to overcome adversity through the power of awareness and compassion. And let's now move for a moment to Christianity. We can think of Christianity today as a journey of love, a journey of forgiveness and transformation. As we consider world religions, Christianity holds a unique place woven from the life and the teachings of Jesus Christ. Emerging in the first century, in the heart of the Roman Empire, Christianity began a message of hope and redemption to all, regardless of their status or their sins. Its roots are deeply embedded in the principle that divine love is available to everyone. Yes, it's rooted in the principle that divine love is available to everyone, a testament to the boundless grace of the divine itself. At the heart of Christianity is the story of Jesus of Nazareth, whose teachings of love, forgiveness, and humility have transcended time and geography to touch now billions of hearts around the world. The parables of Jesus, simple yet profound, offer great insights into the kingdom of God, not as a distant, far-off realm, but as a reality woven into the fabric of our daily lives, accessible through acts of kindness, love, compassion, and forgiveness. Christianity speaks to the transformative power of forgiveness. Consider the acts of forgiveness as being a cornerstone of Christian practice, as not a moral duty, but a pathway to personal peace and liberation. Jesus clearly taught to forgive others is to be freed from the chains of resentment, and allowing us to experience the fullness of divine love. Love your brother as yourself. Forgive everybody, your enemies included. This practice of forgiveness is beautifully illustrated in the parable of the prodigal son, where the father's unconditional love and forgiveness for his returning son offers a powerful metaphor for how God's endless grace and mercy. And religious science will say remembering and forgetting. We're born into this kingdom or this realm of good, but we forget it. And we forget to love ourselves, and we get into separation. So we always want to bring ourselves back to that place. And so Christianity, and with that beautiful parable where the father's unconditional love and forgiveness for his returning child, offers a powerful metaphor for the way life works. You know, we're out of grace because we forget, and we wake up and we're in it again. We all get off track from time to time, and this metaphor, as we turn within, or as we remember who we are, we're once again restored. We have people who come to our classes on Thursdays and Sundays, and for the people who stay tuned in, they remembering their connection and things go well, and then people drift away, and then they forget, and then they come back, and that's what people do. I always say to people, tune in as often as you can so you don't forget how great you are. Ernest Holmes, by the way, had a Christian background, and he saw in the Christian teachings a universal truth about the nature of God and humanity. The emphasis on the transformative power of love and belief in Christianity, and that he said it mirrors the New Thought principle that our thoughts and feelings shape our experience of reality. I used to pray to a God above once upon a time, and I told you all the story before. I met a religious science practitioner, Mary, many years ago, and she commented, God doesn't answer your prayers all the time. And I said, no. And she said, Greg, I want to tell you that you were a child of a lesser religion, a lesser God. And she said, when you come into religious science, you come to understand that the universe so loves you that it responds to your every thought. So as we enter into our teaching, we realize that life itself is responding to our thoughts. So we come into this teaching and we wake up to the realization that we can change our thinking, we can change our life, that spirit lives, moves, and has its being within all of us. So New Thought definitely teaches us that our thoughts and feelings shape our experience of reality, and we can definitely heal our lives, as Louise Hay said. Back to Christianity, the Sermon at the Mount with its Beatitudes teaches us that blessedness is not found in things off external circumstances. Blessedness is found in the attitudes and the intentions that animate our lives. Imagine for a moment integrating the essence of the Christian teachings into our practice of religious science, simply by embodying the qualities that Jesus exemplified. Showing compassion to ourselves. That's what Louise Hay was trying to teach us. Love yourself the way you are. Show compassion to other people, to people who are in need. Offer forgiveness wherever you can to those who have wronged us. Develop more self-compassion, or as Louise Hay would say, self-acceptance and self-approval. And live each day with a heart full of gratitude and love. That's the quickest way to turn everything around. Start talking about what you have, even when what you have is little. Fill yourself up with gratitude for the blessings you have. These are the ways we can bring the message of Christianity into our lives. This is how we create heaven on earth, not as a place to go, but as a way to be. A call to heartfelt action as we reflect in Christianity within our exploration of world religions. Let's be inspired by its message of transformation, redemption. It's a call for us to do something. Let the story of Jesus remind us of our capacity for renewal, our potential for kindness, and our ability to forgive. And let it remind us of our connection to a love deep within the center of us that transcends all boundaries. We have the ability to forgive everything, forgive ourselves, forgive everyone. We have the ability to be in a new moment. In this, we find not only the essence of Christian teaching, but the heart of a spiritual practice that uplifts and unites us all in divine love. Now I want to move over to Hinduism for a minute. This is a tradition that's always intrigued me perhaps the most, for its profound understanding of time and existence. When I was studying Hinduism, the timeline goes into the millions and millions and tens of millions, and it just study it sometime. It's very different than all the others. Unlike all the relatively brief timelines of most religions consider, Hinduism unveils a cosmic vista stretching across, as I said, millions and millions of years through cycles known as yugas. This expansive view reminds us of the vastness of the universe and its cyclical nature, where creation, preservation, and dissolution follow one another in an eternal dance. Imagine, while many spiritual traditions we have discussed span a few thousand years on the planet, Hinduism invites us to ponder millions of epochs, each having millions of years, each a testament to life's enduring rhythms and the vast ancient cosmos that we're a part of. What's captivating to me about Hinduism, in its rich tapestry of gods and philosophical systems and rituals, is reflecting its deep history, right, and cultural diversity. As a student, I remember how Hinduism had absolutely no problem incorporating all of the other gods and religions, all the different approaches, realizing all of this exists within the one mind of God, which I believe they call Brahma. In the mind of the great God, or that great energy, everything's included. And that moved me when I first read about it many years ago, and it still does. In its teachings, it has some teachings that everybody I think can relate to. They advocate dharma, which is duty. You can practice bhakti, which is devotion, a path of devotion. You can practice divine action, and moksha, a pathway of liberation. So you can give your life, you can practice your life by doing things of duty and devotion and take action, inspired action, and ultimately bring yourself to a place of personal freedom. In Hinduism, there's a diverse pathway to spiritual enlightenment. There's something for just about everybody. And that resonates with the inclusive and the exploratory spirit of religious science, because we don't really tell you what to do either. You follow your inner knowing. You have within you direct access to spirit. And spirit is here to move inside of you and for you to grow and to expand and to express yourself and move towards liberation. And there is devotion once you get into the teaching, and you'll find your way, your thing to do, to express yourself. And I can't leave out with Hinduism either. There's also yoga, which is a part of it. And that's not just a physical exercise, but it's a profound discipline for uniting with the divine. That reminds me, it's of us learning to be practitioners. We're training our minds, we're redirecting our thoughts, we're learning to see the good in everything. We're learning to see we're interconnected with all life, the good of life. Not altogether different from yoga, which is a discipline for uniting with the divine. This practice, again, mirrors us through the principle of seeking direct personal experience of the divine within and around us. It's a beautiful example of how Hinduism's spiritual practice can enrich our own journey towards self-realization and the understanding of the divine. Drawing inspiration from the Hindu concept of dharma or duty, we seek a powerful call to engage in selfless service, which is called seva. This could be as simple as volunteering at the local food bank or assisting a neighbor, babysitting or helping someone read. There's 1,000 ways that we can engage in selfless service if you're called to do that. Acts of kindness like this, performed without any expectation of reward, embody a spirit of compassion and duty towards others. Any and all of them knit us closer together, bringing us closer together as a spiritual family, and help us realize interconnectedness. There is this interconnectedness. We're all one with each other. This realization is vital in our world today. As we reflect on the teachings from Hinduism, let's consider how they can inspire our practice of religious science. The vastness of time and the cyclical nature of the universe encourage us to see beyond the immediate challenges, to recognize the importance of our individuality in the larger eternal story. The diverse paths to spiritual realization remind us of the many ways we can connect with the divine, encouraging exploration and personal growth. And the emphasis on selfless service highlights the importance of acting with compassion towards others. As we say namaste, we realize as we meet other people, we're seeing God in everything and everyone. And that's what they're doing in Hinduism as well. They do their best. They're practicing the faith to be of service to people. As you do this, as they do that, that will have a great impact on the world itself. So they're doing the very same thing that we talk about. Embracing these insights, we may find valuable lessons for our own spiritual journey, which will enrich our understanding and practice of religious science. This Sunday, let's open our hearts to the wisdom of Hinduism, finding in its ancient teachings new ways to deepen our connection with the divine within and the divine in each other and the world around us. And let's move to Islam. As we turn our attention to Islam, it's really important to approach it with an open heart, seeking to uncover the beauty and depth within this very rich spiritual tradition. Islam is a faith that emphasizes submission to the will of God, who they call Allah, and it offers profound insights into living a life of devotion, living a life of integrity, and a life to help community. Through its 5 pillars: faith, prayer, charity, fasting during Ramadan, and a pilgrimage to Mecca, Islam outlines a path for personal spiritual practice that seamlessly integrates into every aspect of life. These pillars not only guide Muslims in their daily worship, but also shape their interactions with the wider world. And that makes Islam a living, breathing faith that touches the hearts of its believers. They have a concept called ummah, or a global community, that's especially relevant today. It underscores the importance of social equity, having compassion, and involving themselves in charitable acts. This mirrors New Thought's emphasis on the collective consciousness and the transformative power of united action. The Islamic tradition of zakat is one of the 5 pillars. It's a testament to this commitment, saying it's not merely a duty, but it's a real privilege to support people who are in need. And this fosters a sense of connection and mutual support within the community. This principle encourages us to look beyond the individual needs and consider our role in the broader tapestry of life, reminding us of our shared humanity and the responsibility we all have to one another. In today's world where misunderstandings about Islam abound, it's very important to recognize the essence of this faith is definitely a call to peace. It's a call to understanding and harmony among all people. So in Western media, you'll hear people talk about jihad, which is often misconstrued. That word really refers to is the internal struggle against sin and the effort to live a righteous life, dealing with the challenges that we all face in striving for personal growth and spiritual enlightenment. For our religious science community, there's much to learn from Islam's holistic approach to spirituality. Its practices offer a pathway to a disciplined yet heart-centered life, emphasizing the importance of regular meditation, connection with the divine, and active service within the community. By drawing on the Islamic principle of zakat, we're reminded of the power of generosity and the impact we can have through acts of kindness and support towards ourselves and to those around us. As we explore the beauty of Islam, let's do so with the intention of finding common ground and shared values. Let this exploration enrich our understanding of the divine, inspire us to live with greater purpose and compassion, and remind us of the strength found in unity and shared pursuit of a better world. In embracing the wisdom of Islam, when we open ourselves up to new perspectives in faith, community, and the art of living in harmony with the divine in each other, that's what we accomplish. Now, let's go to Judaism, another one of my favorites. Judaism is a profound historical depth. It offers tremendous value, invaluable insights into living well, to living ethically, embracing community, responsibility, and pursuing knowledge. Its traditions and its teachings are ancient, and they provide a framework not just for individual spiritual growth, but for cultivating a better society, a more compassionate society, a just society. One of the most powerful concepts of Judaism, it's really a beautiful concept that I've known for years, is, I don't know if I'll say it properly, is tikkun olam, the idea of repairing the world, which calls on every one of us individually to actively engage in the betterment of our community and the world at large. This principle resonates deeply within the values of New Thought, emphasizing the importance of positive thought, positive action, spiritual growth, and service, and the collective effort for all of us to bring about healing and transformation. Tikkun Olam teaches us that each action, no matter how small it seems, contributes to the healing of the world. So I think that's something we teach here when we talk about practicing the presence and loving ourselves, and having compassion and doing small things are great things. I was taught in religious science years ago that the mind, there's no great or small in the mind that created all. So whatever you do and however you approach service, however you extend yourself is a beautiful thing. You're participating in Tikkun Olam, teaching us that each action, no matter how small, contributes to the healing of our world. Inspired by this concept from Judaism, we're encouraged to take steps towards taking better care of the planet, taking better care of ourselves and our families, participating in social actions, maybe to clean up your neighborhood or clean up the world, and any kind of effort advocating for a better world, or simply making more conscious choices in our daily lives. Any and all of these actions reflect a broader commitment to preserving and nurturing the world for future generations, embodying the Jewish commitment to life, health, and sustainability. For our religious science community, the teachings of Judaism, again, offer a rich source of wisdom on living with intention, living responsibly, and in harmony with the divine laws of the universe itself. Its focus on making a better world, ethical living, supporting our communities, and taking care of our neighborhoods, our world, aligns with the principles of unity, love, and the power of collective consciousness to bring about great change. By embracing the spirit of Tikkun Olam, we join hands with our Jewish brothers and sisters in this sacred task of repairing the world, guided by the belief that through our combined efforts, we can bring about a more just, peaceful, and thriving world for everyone. So in discussing the beauty of Judaism, we celebrate the shared values that unite us across every different faith, recognizing the unique contributions that every tradition I mentioned today brings to our collective world and our spiritual journey. Let's draw on the inspiration from Judaism's deep commitment to community ethics and the pursuit of knowledge, finding in its teaching a call to action that resonates within our own path towards spiritual enlightenment and social harmony. As we reflect on this great teaching's heritage and in the teachings of Tikkun Olam, let us be inspired to carry forward this torch of healing and hope, knowing that in our collective pursuit of repairing the world, we find the truest expression of our shared humanity and the boundless love that connects us all. It always begins with us. I love myself the way I am. And then you extend it forward. It begins with us. So as we wind down for today, we're standing at a threshold of new understanding, let's embrace the dazzling group of faiths that enrich our spiritual journey. Imagine, if you will, a tapestry, a cloth woven from different threads of diverse colors and precious metals and textures, all representing a path to the divine. Today we've added strands to this tapestry, celebrating not just the beauty of each new thread, but the magnificent picture they help create. This picture is a vibrant declaration of our interconnectedness. We are one with all life. There's not a spot where it's not. It's a visual hymn to the unity of spirit that dances in our hearts and across the universe. In the words of Rumi, a mystic poet who transcends the boundaries of religions, you are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop. Yes, I'll say that again. You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop. This quote invites us to see ourselves in the grandeur of the cosmos, each of your individualizations of this light, and to recognize our profound connection to all existence, and to absolutely marvel at the power that resides within each and every one of us. Marvel at the power that resides within you. How great thou art, a power that mirrors the vast boundless sea. Let us now conclude our lesson and affirm our unity with the divine and with each other through an affirmative prayer, drawing from the wisdom of the faiths that we've journeyed through today. I recognize the infinite presence, a boundless sea of love and wisdom flowing through the universe within me. In the spirit of Buddhism, I acknowledge the interconnectedness of all beings. Through the lens of Christianity, I see the embodiment of divine love and grace in every heart. With Hinduism, I marvel at the eternal dance of creation, preservation, and transformation. Islam teaches me the beauty of surrender to a will greater than my own. And Judaism reminds me of the sacred duty to repair the world in partnership with the divine. I'm one with this infinite presence, a unique expression myself of its myriad manifestations. The wisdom of the world's faiths flow through me, enriching my soul and guiding my path. In this unity, I find strength, peace, and calm. I declare that my life is a reflection of this divine energy, this divine tapestry, woven with threads of love, wisdom, and compassion. I embrace the power to create positive change, to uplift and heal, drawing from the deep well of all these spiritual traditions that guide humanity. My thoughts, my words, and actions are in harmony with the highest truths of all the faiths, celebrating the diversity that leads us to the same universal light. With gratitude, profound gratitude, I give thanks for the journey of discovery, the lessons learned, and the growth experienced. I'm thankful for the unity in diversity, for the peace that fills my being, and for the love that surrounds me and emanates from me. I release my word into the law, knowing it's done as I have declared, and so it is. I let go, trusting the unfolding of my journey. I'm trusting it's in perfect alignment with the divine plan for the highest good of all, and so it is. Thank you very much.